Hey everybody, welcome to the inaugural episode of Reading Comics. It is a new segment that I'm working on, and let me know if you guys appreciate it and you think it's cool or not. I normally do reviews of comic books and or a deep dive into them. Like I did a deep dive into Daredevil, Man Without Fear, number 226, and I was going to really just go through and review and go through and deep dive all of the Born Again issues. But I think I decided that I would rather kind of just read along with them. And I was looking on YouTube to see if anyone has done that yet. And I don't see anybody that's done a reading of any of the Daredevil stuff or a lot of the Marvel books. So I'm gonna, find my favorite storylines, and I'm gonna do a reading of them. It's a little different than the reviews and the deep dives. I'm not going to be talking about the comic. I'm just going to be reading it and doing my best to narrate it. I really wanted to a while back do a reading of comic books for the blind people, the vision impaired. But I just didn't feel like I was up to the task. Maybe after I've done a few of these or enough of these, I might feel like I'm up there and kind of try to add my own narration or my own observances of each panel. Some of it is the time that it takes to do that, and a lot of it though is just whether or not I can read it in a way that would be appropriate, or that I would be happy with. Another reason that I wanted to do this is because there's a serious lack of story development at Marvel in the animation departments. DC has a great animation department. They've redone so many of the fantastic stories that have been worked on. Killing Joke, Year One, Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen. So many of their stories are told in animation. And where is the Born Again in animation? Yes, we have the X-Men '97, and they did retell the Dark Phoenix saga, and I did love that, and I do love the X-Men animation. But there's so many other storylines that are so fantastic that they have never gone through. Why wouldn't they do the Punisher limited series as an animated show? Why wouldn't they do some of the New Mutant storylines as a TV show? Why wouldn't they do Spider-Man clone saga or whatever? I know a lot of people hate that, but it's a big storyline that has a lot of impact on the comic books. And so why wouldn't they, if they're not going to turn it into a show, they're not going to turn it into a cartoon. So I'm just going to read them, and we're going to go from there and see if this is a success, or if nobody watches it or whatever, then I might just completely ditch it. But let's start off. And I'm not going to have this introduction, this big intro every time. Next time, I'm just going to kind of dive into the storyline. But before we get into that, I'd like to show you some of my own work. This is Random Access. It's a full-size, full-color comic book that I produce every month, and I'm turning it into a full anthology with new other more artists every month, because I've always had backups by Paul Courtjohn or Chris Knox or whatever. But there's only been one or two pages that I've had in there. I'm expanding that to this issue, which is issue 32, which came out last month. I'm late. Yes, I am. But there's 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4. There's 4 pages of backup stories, but the main story is an extra 2 pages. So it's really going to be 6 pages for other artists, backup stories. But then next month, I'm going to have an extra 4 pages. So it'll be 10 pages for my art, and then 10 pages for backup artists and stuff like that. And I'm considering actually going down to 8 pages on my own, because it's a little bit of a grind. It's a little bit stressful to do 10 pages a month, full color and everything. So I'm considering that. Let me know what you guys think about that situation. And should I just keep it as my own and just do the 10 pages, or should I expand it into the anthology like I'm kind of expecting that I'm going to? There's also a new logo, as you can see. I personally like my old logo. I think it's cool, but there's been some people that think that I need a new, fresh logo. And this was created by Neil Devlin. He did a few other logos, and I'm going to just experiment with them in the next few months and see what I think is works the best and stuff. This is it's I like how it doesn't encroach on the artwork, but it's a little bit on the small side. So we'll be working on that in the next few months. So I really love all of you guys' input on what's happening with random access. So you can get those at patreon.com/Alexander Turbin for $3 a month. Or you can go to my website, alexanderturbin.com. So we're going to start in a little while ago, a couple months ago. I did a deep dive into Daredevil number 226. This is 225. I'm not going to go through it. I'm just kind of explain that I think that this is kind of the prequel to Born Again. And, as much as I did like the TV show, and I do love the TV show, it's fantastic. It's great actors, great story, great everything. It's not Born Again. It's not Born Again. I don't know why they use that name when it really is not anything, does not have anything to do with the Born Again storyline. So I'm not really too impressed by that. But I really feel like 225 is the prequel. It's got Dave Mazzucchelli art, and some of this stuff is truly fantastic. This is my favorite Vulture. I don't really love the Michael Keaton Vulture with the high tech and all that stuff. I would rather just see this, this crotchety old guy who has these flying powers or whatever, and he's just like a bad guy. He's just a villain. He's just, he's just a bad guy. But this has David Mazzucchelli, so he was on the book anyway, and his story by Denny O'Neil. And then 226 is Denny O'Neil and Frank Miller. But there's also some flashbacks and stuff that take place here, this is Frank Miller-ish type stuff. I don't know if Denny O'Neil and Frank Miller were discussing things, and Frank was like, "Hey, this would be really cool," or Denny O'Neil was just like looking back at Frank Miller work and trying to figure out how he could best emulate it to his the best that he can. But this is a fantastic comic book, and I might actually go through this at some point too, just on its own. Like I said, it's not part of the Born Again storyline, so we're just not going to go into that at the time. I did go through this, which is the Melvin Potter, and this is, like I said, a prequel to the Born Again. It doesn't really get into the meat and potatoes of the story. But comics are like that. There's 226 issues before this, so all of it is prequel, really. I mean, everything that's come up to this point leads up to this storyline is prequel. But this really, it's starting to talk about Daredevil's mental faculties and Melvin Potter, who is in the later issues of Born Again. He does have a little bit of a role. But it's setting up how Murdoch and his buddy here are closing up their law firm. So things are happening. He's having troubles with his girlfriend, and Matt, he's just having a mental issues. And so they're really just kind of setting things up for things that are about to happen. So let's dive into number 227 of Daredevil Apocalypse, which is the first part of the Daredevil Born Again storyline. I'm going to show you all of the covers for the storyline. It goes from 227 to 228, 229, 230, 231, 232, and 233, which is when Frank Miller leaves and they start a whole new storyline, which, I might go through all of that stuff as well, because I really think it's fantastic. But let's start in. I really love these covers. This one's not so fantastic, but I love this cover and these covers. They're just so amazing. It's like David Mazzucchelli. I bet he and Frank Miller were discussing a lot of the stuff of what they wanted to do, and so they were came up with this stuff. And it's a good starting out point for the cover, because you've got the Kingpin and you've got Daredevil in his crosshairs. And as you all know, or maybe you don't all know, and you're about to find out, is that is the crux of the storyline, where the Kingpin finds out who Daredevil is, that he finds out he's Matt Murdock. If you don't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to try to read this with my glasses. I might, so bear with me. Like I said, this is the first reading, and we hopefully we'll get through it without any kind of hiccups. Let me know what you guys think. It's a hot day, like all the rest, all 2 years of them. 2 years in the motion picture epic that turned into just another come on, isn't even a memory. Yeah, I'm sure. I seen one of them flicks. You're big at the stag parties. What's your name again? Page. Karen Page. Like all the rest, except this one has a special glow to it. It's not every day you sell your soul. That's no way to think. Grow up. It's the 80s. You do what you have to, and you have to do this. Look, this is worth something. Take it to the States and you'll get $1 million for it. Girl will say lots when she's hungry. Things I hear. I'm trying my best to read this, but I'm on the side, and let's just keep going and see if things get better. I'm also going to have to get better glasses because they're a little bit far away. But one of the things I wanted to say, and I'm going to stop here for a second, is, I mean, look at this beautiful shading, shadowing. This is just pinnacle comic book noir, especially noir. But even if you didn't think it was noir or care about anything like that, it's just amazing. The shutters on her face and on her body and stuff is just pure gold. Want a shot? No, didn't think so. Not a shot of booze anyway. Daredevil, okay? I said it. I said the name. And he's got another name, and it's written down right here. You want it or not? 6 weeks later, all just as hot. East Coast connection done right by you, Tonio. Just look at all this. Not like the old days. Old days we had time on our hands, Raldo. Right now, I got 5 minutes. Your time's worth plenty, Tonio, and what I got's worth plenty of plenty. Daredevil's secret identity. That's worth your life, Ronaldo. Raldo? Oh no, this is good, man. Again, I'm going to have to stop because, I mean, look at these colors. Look at these fantastic colors. It's just these reds and oranges and pinks. And very soon at a much cooler place. Good, gentlemen, but not good enough. We must expand more quickly into legitimate enterprises. They are to become the backbone of our organization. You are dismissed. Excuse me, sir. There isn't a man on deck who doesn't jump when Stilson speaks up. Well, there's one, but nobody's sure if the word man quite covers him. Sir, it's from Mexico. Might not be anything. Calling him the Kingpin, that covers him, well as any word can. Saying he's the boss of everything bad that makes money in what must be most of the free world. My cousin down there, Tomo, I wouldn't bring it up, but you said to keep the lines open out for this. Local pusher down there says he met Daredevil's old lady. His old lady. I mean, says for an armful she sold his name. His real name, I mean. I know what you mean. Give it to me. Nobody needs to be told. They all lead fast as they can without looking like wimps. Except for Wesley, of course. Wesley, he always sticks around for any last-minute orders, which is why everybody's so nice to Wesley. Turn the yacht back to New York. Locate everyone who has touched this envelope or spoken to anyone who has, and await the kill order. In the meantime, I shall test the information. 6 months pass. Winter hits Manhattan like an unwanted relative, drops in with no warning, and seems to stay forever. It spreads a thick white blanket that makes the city look clean for a few hours, until the snow gets stepped on and driven over and made gritty, dirty gray. Matt Murdock is blind, so he misses the prettiest morning of the year. All he gets is hissing pipes, an old East Coast chill that goes straight through for the bones. Matt Murdock is also Daredevil. That's why his life is about to fall apart. Stan Lee presents Apocalypse by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. Christy Shield is colors, Joe Rosen is letters, Ralph Macchio is editor, and Jim Shooter is the editor-in-chief. The colors are particularly wonderful in this book. Daredevil. He rolls the name across the bruise that is his mind. Comforting. It isn't, but at least it's real. Every other part of him is, so far anyway. I don't drink, he thinks. I didn't drink last night. That only feels like a hangover. Daredevil. A victim. That's what I am. And that's what Daredevil is. A victim of radiation that gave him superhuman acuteness of four senses and plunged me into a world of eternal darkness. I didn't ask for it, but I became Daredevil. I fight crime. That much I've done right with my life. I listen to the muffled beeps and the bleeding of a grouchy city gone grouchier. I shake two of the cobwebs from my brain. Why did I get up this morning? Don't have any appointments, don't even have a job, and I'd better lay off crime fighting until my knuckles heal. A tiny icy draft cuts across the lower calf, reminding me. Drafts from the mail chute. Heard the mail slip through it and hit the floor. That's what woke me up. That's why I got out of bed. It's about time for the job offers to start coming in. I read the envelopes with my fingertips. Embossed ones are easy. Going by the scant impressions of ink on the others is a pain. This early in the day. Nothing with the masthead of a law firm. Word must not have gotten out yet that the hottest attorney since F. Lee Bailey is up for grabs. Amazing how long it takes for the news to circulate when you want it to. No offers. The 3 bills, something from the March of Dimes, the plastic rectangle of a cassette from my girlfriend. Can't be good, since she lives in town. The letter from the bank, saying they haven't received my last two mortgage payments. Trust them to screw up every chance they get. And a notice from Internal Revenue that my tax files are being audited and that every penny I have is frozen until the audit is complete. All this before coffee. Matt, this is Glory. I've been trying to call you for days now. Hi, Sid. This is Matt. Just got something in from the IRS. You don't seem to be home much. You're never home for me anyway. It's what? What do you mean, Sid? You've been my accountant for... You can't mean this, Sid. Lying to you? Sid, my records are spotless. This may not be the best way to say this to you, Matt, and I know this is already a bad time for you. Hello? But I'm out of patience, Matt. The way you treat me, I'm through with you, Matt. Maybe if you'd let me in what's plaguing you, I'd appreciate you not making this more difficult. I'm saying that I'd rather you didn't call me. It's a subpoena demanding my presence at a grand jury hearing. Not as a witness. Oh, sorry. Knock, knock, knock. 1 hour later uptown. You're a disease, Matthew. I'm risking my standing just by talking with you. If the charges had been made by any other cop, any other Matthew, but Nicholas Meniolis, 20 years of impeccable performance. I know his record. Far be it from me to judge you, but this is a sworn statement from Lieutenant Meniolis. He says he saw you pay a witness to perjure himself in that Hendricks case. I can't believe Nick Meniolis would do this, not for anything. We never had this conversation, Matthew. And whatever you do, don't harass Menoli. Wouldn't be good form. Have a nice day. Don't push it. Night falls too quickly. I love this panel here. Shows you got the traffic all snarled. Got here as fast as I could. You know, you shouldn't leave the door unlocked like this, It's not Glory? Oh no. Took everything, Foggy. Came home and they taken everything. What kind of people would do this? Hateful city, hateful. Scares me worse than Belfast, bombs and all. They've ruined my pictures, Foggy. What kind of people? You're safe, Glory. That's what counts. Come on, I'll fix you a cup of coffee. Not here. With everything broken and screwed around, I can't stay here tonight. My name is Ben Urich. I'm a reporter. I'm working the night shift on a great metropolitan newspaper when a piece of dynamite is dropped in my desk. It's not the kind that misses it for it just rustles in Robertson's hands. Check this one out for me, Ben. Sure, I've got nothing but time. It's disguised as an Associated Press wire that says Matt Murdock faces a host of criminal charges, including bribery, perjury, and misconduct. Matt Murdock is the most honest man I know. Matt, Ben, I just heard. I have no statement for the press, stranger tells me. Matt, if it's off the record, you know you can trust me. A chuckle, like dry ice cracking. Matt, I'm your friend, remember? He laughs. The line goes dead. The laugh seems to echo through the office. I try to match it with the man who saved my life. I worry not about his honesty. The bank insists I haven't paid them. They threaten to foreclose. I lose my temper and yell at them, and they hang up on me. I pull out my checkbook and run my fingers across the stubs. They're written with ballpoint pen, leaves deep, easy-to-read grooves in the paper. I wrote the checks, all right, on time, like all my bills, but there's no sign of them in my monthly statements. The bank never cashed them. Maybe they were lost in the mail. With my money frozen by the IRS, how can I hate money. Outside, the snow has turned to sleet, trying to chip away the walls around me. Something loose and wild flows through the city. I feel my pulse quicken like a jungle drum. It's the night. I've always loved it. I grab the weightless bundle of cloth, the only part of my life that's worth living anymore. The one relief I can give myself when it all gets to be too much. She greets me with a blast of wind and her endless angry roar. She hums with power and tickles my lungs with 1,000 flirting fingers, laughs at me, blows a gust of filthy smoke in my face, tricks me with her slippery stone, rattles her windows with delight as I move across her, feeling her warmth. Getting nasty out there, huh? Boy, seems like yesterday it was fall. Yesterday it was fall, Foggy. Suppose it was, wasn't it? Some more decaf? Sure, and I'll burst if I do. Foggy, I so appreciate your kindness. When I came home and I saw that it was like that, I didn't have a friend in the entire world. Shouldn't ever feel like that, Glory. And yours was the very first name I thought of. And here I am, warm and comforted. Why, I'm not even quaking anymore. Thought sure I'd never stop. And here, feel my hand. Oh, well, you look at the time. Better get to bed. I'll take the couch. The music in there is the kind you hear in department stores. There's something obscene about playing it loud. And loud it is. I'm surprised the building doesn't shake. How he can follow that stupid sitcom he's watching is beyond me. Of course, I've got the problem with visual entertainment. He grunts, unsteady, drunken steps work their way the kitchen. I've got just enough time. 20 years, Nick. Why start lying now? Get out of my home. It's wrong, Nick. I know you. I have to know why you're trying to ruin Matt Murdock. He flinches at the name. I smell his oily, guilty sweat. I feel like the heat of his cheek, a flush of defiant rage, the sound belongs in a South Street bar. He smashes the bottle open. I could force the truth from him. Tough as he is, I'd have to use torture. They fight. He deserve it. I said, get out of my home. Daredevil's gone. He's ringing the telephone. He showed up, yeah, Daredevil. I did what you said to. About my boy. Doctor said he needs that treatment soon. He goes on about his boy and how he'll say whatever they want him to say at the hearing. A symphonic version of the theme of Kojak is getting into full swing, so I miss the voice on the other end of the line. It's hard to stomach the Muzak or Nick's whining, so I leave him at the mercy of his guilty conscience. I've learned this much. Somebody's out to get Matt Murdock, somebody who knows the right buttons to push with the right people. But who? But why? I go home more and more it feels like the only safe place. It isn't until I try to fix dinner that I realize the power is off. I try Con Edison's emergency number. My phone's been disconnected. It's been a day. The first thing Foggy Nelson feels this morning is an irritated knot in the base of his skull. He forgets it as soon as he smells the frying bacon and eggs and pancakes. Foggy thinks he's died and gone to heaven. Must have. That's an angel. She glances at him. He feels her smile before he sees it. She doesn't say a word. Ring, ring. Nelson residence. Hello, Matt. No, you didn't misdial. I'll put him on. Matt, hi. Listen, the craziest thing happened last night. What? Hard to hear you, Matt. Where, a phone booth? At this hour? What? Did you say grand jury? No, I hadn't heard. Oh, golly. Oh, golly. The next few weeks go poorly for Matt Murdock. He writhes like a fly in a spider's web. My web, thanks to Kingpin. So carefully woven, so neatly placed. His plant at the law library reports the crime lord of Murdoch's days spent working with his partner beyond all fatigue, striving to form a defense against the perfect frame. Photographs taken by telescope for the man's defenses are yet unknown, provide a stop-motion study of Murdoch's determination. Most delicious are the nights of low-level stoolies like distant nerve endings tell of increasingly violent, increasingly aberrant assaults by a warrior whose fists are no help against the corrosive gas that fills his life. Assaults which climax in an enlightening episode. It happens in a waterfront saloon, one he frequents to pry information from the lowest echelons of my organization. One he enters now as an angry beggar with no sense of caution or strategy. He is a lost man, thrashing. Matt Murdock! Who's going to tell me about Matt Murdock? No one tells him anything of value. No one could, but I. For I have kept my movements scattered amongst a dozen lieutenants, none of whom possess more than a single scrap of information. I have given the word from Stilson to Karen Page, all who might know will die. Daredevil is Matt Murdock, and more. There is a rift inside him, a wedge, steadying, weakening his reason, steadily driving him insane. The hearing is made noteworthy by the performance of Franklin Nelson, whose eye for legal detail and imaginative use of precedent caused me to make a note and have him hired. Through it all, I am told Murdoch is a ghost, a shell of a man. Even as he hears the much-tempered verdict by the court that he will not face a prison sentence as I had planned, that all he will lose is his license to practice law. Whatever reaction he has are hidden under, even, I suspect, from himself. He faces poverty and public shame. He will be hounded by doctored tax files. Deprived of his very home, survival will become his only concern. Perhaps I will hire him, what is left of him, after a time, after he has learned how powerless he is. His talents would be valuable, and his honor will crush itself. His talent, yes. Any man dedicated as to pretend to blindness in daily life has surely developed a range of methods and techniques that would be an asset to my enterprise. An efficacious opponent, still, he intrigues me. Still, I am not satisfied. I should not tamper with this. I am well positioned. I shall leave him to his misery and that await him. I must deny myself the exquisite pleasure of a killing stroke. I feel awful, Matt. Just awful. You were brilliant, Foggy. You kept me out of prison. I haven't done much to deserve this kind of friendship. They shake hands and then hug. Never stops being hot here, but Karen Page is cold, shaking with a cold from head to foot. It streaks along her arm and legs, and her stomach lurches like an airplane engine starting. Got no money, but still have some of my looks left. He said that. Said I still have some of my looks. Enough for some of my looks. I'm just 25. There's a man who above another man, and he takes a shot at her. Even as she runs, she hates herself for the name that comes to her. The man who always helped her. Matt. The notice for foreclosure sits too big in my jacket pocket. I've got 30 days to avoid repossession by paying my money to the IRS. Won't let me near. 30 days and $10 and my wallet, and I'm not a lawyer anymore. I'm not defeated either. Not yet. Maybe I've been thinking about it all wrong, looking for a single enemy to pin it on. Maybe it's everybody from internal revenue to Con Ed to Mabel to Glory. I call Foggy at 7 in the morning and Glory answers. Foggy, he's in on it too. No, Foggy stood up for me, fought for me. That could be part of the plan. What am I thinking? Just tired. Need to sleep in my own bed. My own bed. Tomorrow I'll do something. Legs are shaky. Must be nervous. No, it's the payment. That rumble. His house blows up. Love these panels. This is just amazing. It could have just been a one panel splash page, but this is just amazing. I hear a baby crying. No, not a baby. Sirens, fire trucks. Guess I've been standing here for a while. Firemen take forever to show up. Traffic gets in their way. Dust. The dust is thick. Could choke on it. There's nothing left. So you know. So that's why. I never would have connected it to you. Nothing about it said gangster until this. It was a nice piece of work. Kingpin, you shouldn't have signed it. And that is issue 227, the first part of the Born Again series. And I'm going to go through all of them, and we will see what you guys think and leave any kind of comments. If you've got any kind of recommendations or anything, let me know. Or I would just love to hear your feedback on what you guys think about this new thing that I'm doing. Is it just a waste of time? Is it a waste of time? And my voice is a horrible wreck, and my reading is disgusting. Let me know that too. I would really like to see that. But anyway, thanks for watching. And until next time, until tomorrow, I'm going to have a real review and a deep dive. And we've got some awesome things coming along the pike. And thanks for watching. And as always, keep on creating.